Hey folks, you'll notice that we're sitting here. We are back in the double dungeon. We're over here on the spider side. And you'll notice that we've got glow squid. I came down here to take a look. I'm checking out some chests and stuff, and I was also trying to find where the water, because y'all remember I went and I don't just want water to appear down here. That wouldn't be fair. So I actually have a water course that goes all the way back up to the surface. Y'all remember that from way on back. So we've got our first glow squid on County Gnarlo here. And we're fixing to have our first glow squid ink sac. There we go. Awesome. All right. Sorry I had to hit you twice there, buddy. I thought a diamond sword would take you out in one shot, but let's see. Where am I at? Let's go here. There we are. Our first glowing sack. There you go. I am in creative because I am traveling around visiting chests. I found an NBT Explorer. You know, when I updated this one, it erased everything in the chest. The MBT values changed and everything that was inside of a chest disappeared. So I am traveling around finding these chests and then looking them up on NBT Explorer and seeing what they had in them and replacing that. All I have to do is basically find the XYZ coordinates of it there. And once I find the XYZ coordinate, I can look it up on the Explorer. I've got the save loaded into the Explorer. And I can open up the chest in the Explorer, find out what it says is inside of it, and then spawn it back in and put it back inside of it. So that's what we are doing. But I did want to show you the first glowstone, first glow ink sacks on the server. All right, folks. So if there's any more updates as we go along, I will certainly show them to you. And we've come out to the exit of it. As you see right there is the exit hole. We can go all the way down like that. And there's the long tunnel that goes all the way back down to the spider farm side of the double dungeon there. And it gets dark in here when I take my torch down. So yeah, I need to do some work on this though. I need to, do some work on the actual part right up here. Now that, make it a little more permanent rather than just a hole in the sand. Now that you can waterlog stuff, in the past I thought about putting something around it, but of course it would block it off and that kind of thing. But now you can waterlog, maybe some waterlog iron fencing or iron bars around it to act as kind of a buffer. Water can get through, but all the mobs and stuff can't. All right, it's getting to be nighttime. We're going to head back into the castle. Keep looking for things to chests to renew and chests to repopulate, and I'll see y'all when I find some more. I'm not quite as scared out here anymore now that they've changed the spawnings. You actually have to have a light level of 0 now. It's not quite as frightening as it was back in the day. Because you still have to be like in first person to aim for the doors, don't you? All right, folks. I'll see you again. Last little update before I go to bed and get ready for work. I have gone through, I got tired of going through chests, so I went through the player. I pulled up my player in the NBT Explorer and I checked my inventory. And I have restored the inventory that Gnarlo here had whenever he was last playing the game, whenever this save was made. And I present it here in all its glory. You look at it, you figure it out. You'll notice how wonderfully organized it is. The only thing that was surprising me, the only thing that was confusing me was the gold sword. Why did I have a gold sword? And it finally dawned on me whenever I was playing this and all, I probably still had Mo Creatures in it. I almost certainly had Mo Creatures installed, or had just recently stopped installing it, using it. And Mo Creatures had the werewolf in there. You know, during the daytime, it was just a man in ragged clothes running around going, "Help me, help me." And then whenever nightfall came, he transformed into a werewolf. And the only thing you could damage him with, because there's no silver in the game, only thing you could damage him with was a gold sword. So that explained why I was carrying a gold sword. I said, this has been a very, very old save. There's a lot of stuff that has come and gone on this save. It's just amazing I ever went into the Nether. So, there, yeah. And of course, there's no way. I mean, there is. You can go in the commands and convert everything to however much damage, but actually put the amount of damage they had on them. I ain't going to go that far. It's amazing enough to me that I'm able to go in. And the NBT Explorer does show you how much damage each item has. It's just amazing enough to me that I'm able to go in and restore my inventory by finding it in the game data. So I'm not going to be going around to the point of putting damage on everything. So, all right. We will see y'all again whenever we come across and do some more stuff. Hey everybody, welcome back to my last little part of this update on Counting Gnarlo. As you see here, I've got two different windows open here on the screen. Over here on the right, I have Minecraft 1.18. I'm playing in the single player game. You'll recognize this is the updated Counting Gnarlo. This is the one where I took the save and I went through and updated it from the 1.62, I think, and slowly went through all the versions and carried it all the way up to 1.18.1. And y'all will remember I had to use MC Edit whenever I went to, I think it's version 1.8, I believe it was. Yeah, version 1.8. Oh, look at it pouring down rain. 1.8 was the one where it changed. There was a different save function, or a different ID function whenever they changed the ID numbers around in the world. And that's when I had to go into pull up an old copy of MC Edit and go in and update the grass, change the grass so that the grass would reappear. But in doing that, remember, the MBT tags were screwed up, so it got rid of all the stuff in the chest. You know, they were all empty, except for this one. This is where I emptied out my inventory. Remember, I said I used MPT editor, or the MPT evaluator, to look in and see what I was originally carrying, what my character was originally carrying. And there is his fantastically arranged inventory of only the most essential items there. Every other chest was empty. Well, in that case, what is this? How come these have things in them? And I'm going to quickly go through them, because just quickly click on them, because they are not necessarily the most well arranged inventories or anything like that. Well, it is because I was sitting there and I was going, well, I can use MBT and I can use the MBT evaluator, and I did. I started looking at stuff again and all, but it was so damn slow. You had to do a search for every chest, and then you had to chest. It couldn't pull a chest up by coordinates. You had to search for chest in the level, and you go through, and you look at the coordinates of the chest, and finally hope that you'd found one that had the same coordinates of what we were looking at. Like, I hope the chest was, was the chest at negative 24, 64, 34, which is this one. And then I got to thinking, it's like, hang on, we've got MC Edit right over here. So I went to MC Edit, and I said, let's take a look at it. Well, now it's not wanting to move. There we go. Okay. Let's go to MC Edit and look around in it. Now, can we fly in with MC Edit like we've done here and move around? Whoop, we moved a little too far, didn't we? That's the problem with this, is that it came by in the days, it was designed back in the days when computers weren't, your average computer wasn't this fast and powerful. So you move around pretty darn quick with it. Let's get out of the chest and move over here. You'll see we're actually sitting inside the exact same spot. Castle Gnarlo here. We're down in what was originally the bedroom of the hidey hole. Right there's the part that goes down to the deep mine, as you see. Yep, see right there? Goes down to the deep mine. Yeah, you can use MC Edit to cheat a bit if you want to, but we're not doing that. We're doing it just to reevaluate these chests here. So I came right over here and I said, okay, it shows the chest. What's in the chest? Let's take a look. This one says it contains 7 items. And remember, double chests are actually 2 chests just side by side. So you have to look at both sides. One side has 7 items, this has 10 items. Altogether, this double chest, which is right here, has 17 items in it. Yeah, don't count any of this stuff. All right, this right here is stuff that was already in my inventory. All right, so don't look at that. But let's go back. So over here, I've got the save from 1.18 running. Over here's the original save from 1.6 something before I did anything with it, before I upgraded it. So it is still set for the 1.62, and it's got, look at there, 10 light wool, 3 gray wool, 1, 2, 3 saddles, and a stack of 64 string and a stack of 18 string. So that's why these over here actually have stuff in them now. I pulled them up, looked at them, and I've got a remarkable number of stone swords I've discovered. I've already done the upstairs. It's like 50% of the chests that I've opened have had stone swords inside them. This has just been weird. I have no idea why. So I'm in creative. I go here and I go, okay, let's find light gray wool. So we're going to go gray. Let's find light gray concrete power, light gray stained glass, light gray wool. And I can do it. You can click and go, okay, let's do 10, 9, 10. And then I throw it out that way. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's any way where you can put stuff straight into the chest. So I've gone, okay, that's enough. I'm not going to worry about it. See, 3 gray wool, throw it out there. And then let's go a saddle. We need 3 saddles, 1, 2, and 3. All right, let's get string. 64 string, you hold down shift and click, 64 string, and then 18 string. And instead of just clicking 18, I've usually just, if it's more than like 10, I usually just throw out another stack. All right, change to survival inventory now, because if you don't, you're going to run over this and you'll only collect like the first couple of things, and then everything else, if you're in this, when you run across it, it'll just basically delete it, because it'll try to draw it into your inventory, and your inventory is on the creative screen, and if you drop anything in the creative screen, it deletes it. So we'll pick it up there, and more recipes unlocking because we're picking up stuff. Let's go over here and click. All right, it says 10 light gray wool. There's our light gray wool. Then we need 3 gray wool. And then we're going to need 3 saddles. We'll put them up here. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to have 64 string. And then we're going to have 18 string. And usually I do it like this and then do it like this. That's 16, 17, 18. Put that in. All right, so we've got everything that was in the first half of the chest. And then I take the string that we had left over and I throw it on the deletion. There we go. And there we go. There's the first one there. All right, now let's see. Let's check the second half of this box. And it's going to have 10 items, all right? So we need to come over here and we're going to need to get 6 ink sacks. That's it. Yep, 6 ink sacks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom. And then 3 leather. 1, 2, 3. And then a saddle. And 1, 2, 3 more saddles. 2, 3. And I'm not, once again, I'm not trying to find exactly what, I don't care what exact square of the chest it's in. I don't care how much damage it has. That's taking things too far. I mean, I'll be crazy here with this, but I'm not going to go that crazy, okay? So we need 2 yellow wool. We need 2 stacks of white wool, which will pare down just a hair. And then we need 2 red wool. There we go. Okay. Red wool saddles, white wool saddles. Okay. So let's make sure we are in survival inventory. Let's sweep them all up like a good little Roomba. Come over here and let's throw those in there now. All right. We got white wool. And then we're going to have yellow wool and red wool, aren't we? Which, let's throw this stuff over here. The stuff that I was carrying in my inventory has caused me to... is causing me issues here. And this should be 1, 2, just 62. All right, we need 6 ink sacks. We need 3 leather. Those here. Move these on over here. This I want to keep because that was the first glow sacks on the server. So that part I'm keeping. Painting I'm keeping. That came off the ground. Torch came off the ground. This came off the ground. That came off the ground. This right here was something that I spawned in whenever I was running around in creative mode because I didn't know if monsters were going to spawn on me or not. So I need to destroy that. And I'll do that here in just a second now that I've got my original swords back. Okay, 6 ink sacks, 3 leather. Let's throw 3 more saddles up there. 1, 2, and 3. 2 yellow wool. 6 white wool, 62, and the 2 red wool, which we'll throw there. Throw this up here. All right, and there we go. We have completed that double chest now, which, as the sign says, is animal drops. All right, so then we have to go to this one, and it'll be the next one that we do, and it has... Come on. Oh, good Lord. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.5 stacks of gravel. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And a half stacks of netherrack. That's in this half. And the other half of it is absolutely full of stacks of gravel. So this chest is basically full. It looks like about half gravel and half netherrack. So that's what we'll be filling it up though. All right, so that's what I wanted to show you. Let's go here. Actually, let's take this one back out. That's the one we were wanting to take out. And we were going to trash it. Boom and boom. Okay. Go back up here. Yes, everything else is where I want. These animal drops. This will go into the food chest. That one will go into the sand chest. That will go into the painting materials. That will go into the redstone chest. This will go... Actually, these two should go into animal drop, shouldn't they? Food drop. Well, this is animal drops. Animal drops and animal drops. This should go into the food drops. Throw that one up there. I think these will go into like building items. Yeah. Painting. I need to destroy that white wool. That's where I took the one from 64 to 62. Is this sand? I think this is where sand is. Yeah, because I think glass was going to go in this one too, right? When I had it. Yeah, sand, glass, gold, sulfur, mossy cobble, top cone. Oh, and that was the other thing. And let's go throw this over here into redstone. Whoops. Telling me I've got to get up and start getting ready for work here. I was awake early to make this one. There we go. And redstone. That's the other part of all this is that, for instance, I'll go to the animal drops here. You know, it's got, I've got, no, let's go to food. That'll give us the biggest thing. You know, seven raw cod here, okay? Let's go over here and let's look at it here in MC Edit. Let's see what this has. Oops. Yeah, that should do it. All right, 6 items. Let's click on it. All right, you'll see egg, raw pork chop, apple, raw chicken. And then it has brown mushroom, red mushroom, raw fish, golden apple. Just as you see, says raw fish. Yes, I do use multiple alarm clocks. Why do you ask? And you're just lucky I don't have my third one over there across the room set to go off to make sure that I get up. You know, when you're only sleeping like 3 hours in between shifts, 3 to 4 hours in between shifts, you set lots of alarm clocks to make sure they get you up. So this says raw fish because back when this was done, all you had was fish. You didn't have cod, you didn't have salmon, you didn't have puffers and tropical and clown and all that. You just had fish. So it's required, I was like, fish, and I went to over here when I saw that. And I went, okay, let me see here. Raw fish, there is no raw fish. And then I realized raw cod and raw salmon. So it was like, or actually, no, what I did was I typed, didn't even do that, I typed fish. And it's like, there's nothing here called a fish. There's tropical fish, puffer fish. And then I was like, what the hell? I knew there was. And then I went, oh, okay, hang on. Raw. Yep, there we go. And there it is. Raw cod is what it's called now. So that took some figuring out. You know, you had to, dang it. You had to sit and go, okay, how do these things go? Because it was the same kind of thing here. Let me turn here. I want to come down here to the redstone chest. Is that the one that I'm opening? I think. Yeah, there we go. Have 64 redstone. Well, it's like redstone. Okay, redstone what? And I had to think, well, I know it's either, is it ore or is it dust? Well, it's dust because once again, remember, this is back, enchanting had just come in the game, and our enchantment table, you know, it's up above us. It's straight up above us up here in the actual, dang it, why do I keep doing that? That's the biggest part, remembering you right click and right click on the one on the left to move, and you don't click on anything on this one to move. You're getting bad habits. Right up there next to where the minecarts are is our enchanting table. We had just started using it, and I think we had enchanted one book or something. But remember, this was enchanting. When enchanting was first in this version of the game, and that original save over here on the left, when it had enchanting, you had to get 50 levels, and you burned all 50 levels in the thing, and you got a random enchantment back. And you couldn't put them on books. You had to put them on a sword. You couldn't enchant books. You had to enchant swords or tools or whatever you were enchanting. You had to enchant the actual item. And you got a random enchantment. You didn't know what you were going to get. And, you know, there's that famous hallway in the hive where it breaks down all the percentages of getting certain things. For instance, I think either a silk touch or a fortune 3. I think those were like 0.1%, you know, 1 in 1,000 chance of getting, you know, a fortune or a silk touch, if I remember correctly. And you had to get 50 levels to do it. So yeah, there you go. So I knew, okay, I know I didn't have a silk touch pick. I never got a silk touch because I didn't enchant enough things. I only enchanted a dozen times or so. So these must be dust. So sure enough, you go over here, and that's what I put into the chest was stacks of the redstone dust. That's what I figured the redstone over here meant. And the same thing with clay. It said, you have 64 clay. And it's like, well, clay blocks? Or no, it couldn't be blocks. I didn't have silk touch. It has to be clay balls. So it requires a little bit of memory of how the old system worked. So, okay, there you go. Just like the funny multicolored trees outside. Just like all the funny multicolored leaf trees outside, you kind of have to know know the history of things and how things changed over time, and realize that, yes, even though I have an enchanting table upstairs, thank you, chicken. I think I'm going to name you Fred. That's what I'm going to name you. After Super Chicken. Y'all remember the cartoon Super Chicken? Whenever something things to take a licking, who you gonna call? Call for Super Chicken. Call for Super Chicken. He had his lion sidekick, Fred, and he's like, "Yeah, but Super Chicken, we might get hurt." Well, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it, Fred. Good stuff. So, in honor of Super Chicken, that is going to be Fred. I still need to fix that, don't I? All right, so there you are. I said, so you have to know, to use this method, you have to know a little bit about it. So that is it. We are tracking down all the stuff that disappeared off our items here. We have figured that the dwarves were responsible, and my dwarven workforce was responsible. So all the dwarves have been sacked, and I've hired pixies now instead. I've brought them in to work my mines and all for me. And they may not work as hard. In fact, they may not work at all, but at least they won't steal my stuff, and they won't be down there in drunken parties all the time. So, and through the use of the GBI, that's the Gnomish Bureau of Investigation, and its international component, the Internome, we are slowly getting all our chests restocked back up. So, all right, folks, that's it. This has been a long little update for County Gnarlo here, but I hope y'all have enjoyed it. It's been fun. Yeah, this is a grind. I'm only going to do the stuff that's in my castle here, you know, the stuff that's really readily found. I'm not going to fly around to every chest everywhere, possibly because some of them are just dungeons. You know, some of the ones way off in the distance are dungeons. One, I don't want to know what the dungeon is. Number two, I don't want to know what's in it. But I'm going to do all the ones here in Castle Gnarlo and over there at the deep pit and stuff like that, and get my actual inventory back. And then as I come across chests in the wild, I'm going to save this save here and keep it on the drive. And if I come across a chest in the wild, open it up, it's empty, I'll pull it up here, I'll save right there, pull it up in MC Edit and find out what the chest had in it and refill it. So, yes, it's a grind. Yes, it sounds crazy. But as we talked about in Lotro, I played EverQuest for 7 years. I don't mind grinds, especially grinds that have a purpose, grinds that you see a result of. And this has been like going through and it's been fun. It's been fun to go through and go, yes, I do remember my chest. Look, I remember having that stack of snowballs, you know, from the first time we had snow and all that. And look at the weird selection of items I had. This was all stuff. I thank God that I collected as much arrows and all out of the skeleton farm, the double skeleton spider farm down there as I did, because I don't have any, because it doesn't work anymore. I don't have any way of getting getting arrows anymore. I need to go in searches and find another skeleton dungeon. I think there is one somewhere, but I've got to find out where it is. Maybe go back and look at some of the old films, find out where the other skeleton dungeon is, because I never did anything with it because I had a functioning one. Well, not anymore. And then looking at stuff like this and going, what is this red crap and what am I ever going to use it for? I mean, you see just how much redstone I used back in the day right there. So it's been fun going through and down memory lane here, and just seeing what sort of stuff that I collected. Just how low my damn inventories were back on County Gnarlo. All right, folks, this has gone on a much longer than I thought it would. I hope y'all have enjoyed it. It's been an awful lot of fun for me, and I will see y'all next time. Thank you very much, and bye bye.